I mean, I was told by my film professor, there are films and there are movies, and sometimes you've got to know what you're walking into.
Yeah. See, but I come from a time when movies were films.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Court of Cinema podcast. I'm your slogan. Here, we talk about everything film and TV, and in today's episode, we're talking about the new horror film on the block, Weapons. This movie came out last week. I saw it last week, Friday, and I have a lot to say about it. Before we go into that, though, number one is that if you listen to the show, I want to say thank you. You keep the lights on, keep the fridge full. If you're a listener at all, you're a supporter of the show, and I really do appreciate you for that. You mean more than you know to me. And just going right into here with Weapons. Number one, director for the film is Zack Creggers. Writer for the film, also Zack Creggers. For the cinematography, we do have here from Larkin Seipel, who did Everything Everywhere All at Once. He did the show Beef that I just finished recently. Beef is a very good show. And also Swiss Army Man, he did as well. So he's worked with the Daniels a lot and also with Beef. And now here with Zack Creggers, he did cinematography, which was solid. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And also for the composing for the film, we do have here Zack Creggers, here, the director and writer, is slated here as well for the composing of the movie. Also, Ryan Holiday and Hayes Holiday all are slated here for the composing of the movie. The music here is incredible. There's a lot of, very subtle ambiance with the music. And also, there's a good bit of needle dropping here, some real life songs that definitely do fit the vibe of the film pretty well also. But just going into here for this movie, just establishing my theory of if the film's going to be good. If you heard my episode last week, I talked about my most anticipated films going into the second half of the year. You know, from August to December, the movies that I'm most excited for. And this movie, Weapons, was my number 3. I was extremely, very, very excited for the movie. It, at one point, had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Right now, it's at like 94, I think, as of right now. And it got a 10 out of 10 from IGN. It was getting very good reviews all around the world from critics, and everyone that saw before me gave it incredible, incredible praise. So when it came out, I just had to know, will this be good? Will it be a good movie? Will it be the next big thing? The next big horror film? Will it be the next horror classic? I had a very high prediction that it really would be. And even hearing, there was some rumors. I don't know if it's exactly confirmed, but I mean, everyone said it is there, at least, everyone's talking like this is confirmed, but there was this massive bidding war for Weapons previously. I think it was in 2023 or something like that. But for the rights of the movie, there was a massive bidding war. Jordan Peele, he was involved with it. His Monkey Paw Studios really wanted this movie. They were bidding a lot of just very high numbers, throwing it out there, and they ended up losing this bidding war to New Line Cinema or Warner Brothers. They got a taint of it, and then because Jordan Peele lost this movie in its massive bidding war, he ended up firing 2 of the higher-ups in his managing team. That was how much this loss meant to him, that he had to fire 2 people. 2 people were out of a job because they didn't get the rights to this movie. And is that true? I don't quite know, but it makes for a very cool story and cool marketing for word of mouth. But still, that's just insane to hear about, that Jordan Peele, who's, he's top 4 for the face of horror cinema. Jordan Peele's definitely up there. And he wanted this film and loved the film so much that he had to fire 2 people. That says a lot for the movie and just really got me very excited that, Jordan Peele, once again, Get Out, Us, Nope. He's definitely on a generational run for horror films that he didn't get rights to the movie. He loved it so much that he had to fire 2 people. That, for me, made me extremely excited. And, like I said, is it true? It's a rumor. I don't know, but still it makes for a very fun story. But still, moving on, I was very, very excited for it. I was really theorizing I was going to give it at least a 9 out of 10. And still, I went to see the movie on last week, Friday. Very, very excited. I had some extremely high hopes of the film. And I left the movie underwhelmed. That's what I'll say. I didn't hate it. That's not to say that I left the movie hating the movie. It still is a good film. I definitely really enjoyed it. But definitely, I would also say that I was very underwhelmed also. And I'm going to go through my pros. That's a very long list. And my cons, I have 2 of them that I think makes the film for me just not really work and made it just, like I said, I was just underwhelmed. Not to say I was upset by it or I hated the movie, but I was definitely underwhelmed. And that's definitely, I think, part my fault also. So just going into what I think the pros are for the movie is the premise. And this movie If you've seen the director's previous film, Barbarian, then you'll know that he has this tendency to kind of play by the book for a good bit, then just twist the movie and surprise you with what it actually is. And if you saw Barbarian, that's an incredible horror film. And, it starts off as, okay, this is the movie. It's a predictable slasher thing. And then it's just going to completely catch you off guard, which I definitely enjoy with that movie. And this movie does the same here, too, with Weapons. And all that we had for this movie, the promo here, is last night at 17 a.m., every child from Mrs. Glandy's class woke up, got out of bed, went downstairs, opened the front door, and walked into the dark, and they never came back. That's really the entire plot that we have. That's it. It's this weird, ominous mystery. Even the way the film starts is that, and it's super cool. That's what really drew me into the movie, is we know that all these kids just randomly got up at the exact same time and went out into the darkness, but why did that happen? Who made them do that? Or what made them do that? That's what drew me in. That's the mystery of the movie. And going into the movie blind, it was super cool to see that mystery. And even I think upon rewatch, it'll still be super cool to see just this mystery unfold before my eyes. Even when I know the twist, it'll make it just that much cooler. So for me, if you love Barbarian and the premise of having this mystery and really holding the audience just in the dark most of the film and not giving them too much information about exactly who the villain really is, if you like Barbarian, then you'll definitely love this movie. It follows that same formula and premise of really holding you in the dark, keeping you in the point of, okay, they're playing by the book, and then just completely giving you this crazy, crazy twist. Then you'll love the movie. You would definitely be a massive fan of Weapons. And like I said, I was also. And then my other thing here that I think is really, really good is the cinematography. Cinematography looks gorgeous. It looks very, very scrumptious. Definitely, I think, one of my favorite shot films for the year so far. I haven't seen that many movies this year. I've only seen about 11 or 12. But still, it's definitely, I think, one of the best films in, regardless of cinematography. I was a massive, massive fan of it. Now, my biggest pro for the film is the acting. That's just the massivest pro that I can give for the movie. The acting all across the board is good. Even the child actors, I enjoyed. There's no one in this film that I thought, this actor is so annoying. This actor is just not playing the role well at all. I think, have had that recently, but still, in this movie, there's no actor that I think did a bad job. Everyone played their parts incredibly, incredibly well. And just going through the list here, there's a massive list of just incredible actors here that I have to give some love to. So number one is obviously going to be Julia Garner. We just saw her in Fantastic Four, and she's one of the leads for the movie. I'll say it that way. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm trying to, really tread the line here. But still, yeah, Julia Garner, she's here. She was previously as the role of Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four last month, and she was great in there. Also, in January, she was in Wolfman. If you saw that movie, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, she was great here in the movie. I definitely think that she's definitely due for a proper dramatic role. She can definitely be one of the next big actors that really is the face of Hollywood. She was incredible in the movie, so likable. Just really overall, she was great. She was really awesome. And then also, I'm just going to go through them here. Aiden Ehrenreich. I'm maybe saying that wrong here. He was Han Solo in the newer Han Solo movie. He's awesome. I remember he was in Oppenheimer. I think everyone was in Oppenheimer. Everyone was good in Oppenheimer also. But still, he was in Oppenheimer in a pretty small role, but he was really good there too. In Solo, he was great as Han Solo. A hot take, whatever. Cocaine Bear, he was in also very good. And here in this movie, he plays a smaller role, but still, he was also very good as Paul in the movie Weapons. He was very, very solid. I thought he was very good. I feel like after watching the movie, there's a bunch of them out there, but definitely Alden Ehrenreich is one of the actors where I get upset that he's not in more movies. He's an actor that, after Solo and even after Oppenheimer, I would think that he's going to be in more bigger dramatic roles. PTA, he maybe should be in that new PTA film. Or, for really everyone, put him in every movie. He can do it all. He has great range and great chops, and he was great in Weapons also. Again, a smaller role, but still I enjoyed him, as well as, everyone else in the movie. In addition to him, I do have Austin Abrams. He was in Euphoria, and this is, I guess, his breakout role. And well, I guess his breakout role was more Euphoria. And in Euphoria, you obviously have Zendaya and also Sydney Sweeney, and that entire cast is now going on to be big actors. But he was one of the actors who wasn't as big as obviously your Zendaya, your Sydney Sweeney, and your everyone else in that movie, in that show that's also very big. But still, Austin Abrams, he was surprisingly very good. It was the Euphoria breakout role that I didn't think was going to happen in this movie, but still, he was awesome. He was a really good actor here in the movie, and I think that this is definitely going to lead to him getting more roles in the future. And I hope he doesn't just turn into the guy that's in every horror movie, even if it's a good or bad one. He's going to be in every single horror film. And, there's a lot of those actors that are in horror films, and they're known for horror films. And if that's what you want to go for, sure. But I don't want people to just be solidified to one genre. Like Justin Long is a guy that's in a lot of movies. He was in Barbarian, also Weapons here too. In Tusk, he was there too. Another horror film. And then he was also in Alvin and the Chipmunks, Like, that's not the career that I want for everyone. I think that everyone should be in a lot of different movies just to get a grasp for everything. Instead of just being in romance or horror, I want him to be in more films beyond horror. But still, Austin Abrams was great here, too. Benedict Wong, we know him from the MCU. He was very good here as well. He was an actor that, I always love, but still in this movie, he was very good here as well. I definitely want to see him in more things. And will he be in the MCU in the future? No idea. Who knows? But I think that definitely, bar none, my favorite actor in the movie and one of my favorite performances of the entire year right now is Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin here in Weapons, it is definitely, I think, maybe his best performance ever. And I know you're probably saying, Logan, what are you talking about? He played Thanos. He was in the Dune movies. He was in No Country for Old Men and Sicario and True Grit and Goonies. And you're saying that here in Weapons, this is his best role? This is his best performance? I think possibly. He plays this incredible role of the father who lost, one of the parents that lost one of their children. And that alone, it just gave him so much to work with, so much emotion, that it showed me that I really definitely underappreciate him as an actor. And, will this role get nominated for an Oscar? Most likely no. But definitely right now, as of August 12th, this is my favorite role of the year. If I had to give away the best actor in a leading role to anyone, it would be to Josh Brolin. Will it go to him? Will he even be nominated? Probably not. But still, this performance and this role, this character, this movie, it meant a lot to me. It was definitely the heart of the film, the role in the movie that gave the movie this more human connection, this actual emotional human role here in the movie that the film definitely would have been missing. And I'll go into my cons a little bit later here. But still, I remember Josh Brolin, he did an interview with Kevin McCarthy, and he was talking to him just about this character and this performance being heavily surrounded by just masculinity is really the overall premise. And that's one of the bigger themes of the movie, I think, for sure, is masculinity, and not just, your Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate or Fresh and Fit telling girls to get in the kitchen and make them more food and listen and clean the house. It's more of the masculinity that's more so vulnerable to emotion, and a character that's very, very emotional in the movie. He gives so much of his heart and soul to this role that really, I think that Josh Brolin in this position here with this movie, this character, it might be his best performance ever that he's ever done. And once again, will it get the love and praise? Probably not, but still, it does deserve it. Yes, it does. So still, like I said, everyone overall, the acting's great, but Josh Brolin, this character, this performance, it's great. I'll most likely speak about it later as I go on through the year, but still, going into my cons here for the movie. My cons for the movie, it's pretty short here. The main con that I have, all right, so the main con here. Remember, I told you that this movie, it keeps you in the dark for a while, and it doesn't really reveal the villain or the overall antagonist role until later in the film, and it's definitely a surprise. It's supposed to be a surprise. It's not like this movie is, what is it called again? I don't watch a lot of horror films, but, it's not like it's Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not like Freddy Krueger is the face of the movie, and you know that going in. This movie has a villain, it has an antagonist role, and it's meant to be a surprise twist kind of moment here. And when that happens in the film for me, I was just extremely underwhelmed. I definitely wanted more from the villain here. And that might be more of a me problem than an actual movie problem here. It might be that my expectations were set very high, and because this movie isn't what I wanted it to be, now I'm a little bit upset by that. Which, once again, that's not good criticism at all. It's not good to criticize a film based on what you wanted, but instead judge the film based on what the film actually is. And for me, I definitely agree with that, but still, I think when the villain was revealed, I was just underwhelmed. And when everything got revealed in the movie, for me, the excitement and the joy and just the love for the movie, it started going down to the point where I could have given this film lower than what I gave it, but still, I just wanted more from the villain, which once again, it's no one's fault but my own. It's not like I went into the movie and I said, the villain, it really, I think, should be a werewolf or a vampire or a zombie making all these kids get up at night at 2:17 in the morning and running outside their door. The movie in no point promises that this big villain is going to be blank, insert here, but still, I think in my head, I just put the villain and the antagonist role on such this just massive pedestal that when it wasn't at the level that I thought it was going to be at, yes, I was underwhelmed by it. And I'm not going to exactly spoil what the big twist villain is or who it is in the movie. And, I'm not to say either that it's exactly a bad villain performance. Either the villain here in this movie, they played the part very, very well. It's actually also a great performance. They're also from the villain. I'm not going to spoil it. But still, in terms of, for me, I was expecting more. I was very underwhelmed and just kind of got to me a little bit corny. Got a little bit whack when everything got revealed. I feel like the mystery of what the villain was for the movie, it was better than the actual villain itself. And, I think that just really is what made the movie good for me, is just the mystery of what's going on. Why is this happening? Who's doing it? That when everything got revealed, it just kind of became lame. It kind of ruined the point to a sense. It's kind of like how Santa Claus, when we were younger, we all believed in Santa Claus, or at least most of us did. And, a good percent of people believed in Santa growing up. But so you never exactly saw Santa Claus with your own eyes, but still the mystery and wonder and magic of the idea of Santa Claus was almost better than actually seeing them in real life. That's kind of like how I feel with this movie. Really the idea and concept of whatever this villain was really better than what it actually ended up being, which, may be a personal thing that I have to work on with, limiting my expectations or maybe being happy with what I got instead of what I expected. But still, overall, the villain and just the whole reveal of the movie, it kind of made my interest and love for the film slowly go down as the film came to a close here. And for my second con here, is that the movie I definitely think could have maybe had more character stuff. More characters, more heart, more emotion. Not to say it doesn't exist. There's definitely a whole lot of good character moments. And like I said, the acting and characters all around are very, very solid. But maybe if I had to give us, just giving out more cons here, if I could have changed anything else, I would say that maybe adding in more character moments and more of character development to the level of Josh Brolin's character. Once again, Josh Brolin's character is, I think, one of my favorites of the entire year, if not at least top 3. Still, if everything and all of the characters got that much love and attention, I think, in the writing room, it might be also higher for me in that sense as well. But still, for this movie, should you see it? Should you not go see it? I say yes, it's definitely worth your time. I still enjoyed it. I gave the film a 4 out of 5, and I gave it a B. It's a very strong score, and my opinion is to go see it. It's a solid movie. It definitely is one of the better movies of the entire year. And yeah, you would definitely enjoy it if you like horror films, if you like Barbarian also, then you'll like this movie maybe even more than Barbarian 2. But with that all said and done, we're just about done for this episode for today. If you want to know exactly what's coming out soon, I guess for movies, we do have this Friday, we have The Highest to Lowest, the new Spike Lee film. Also this Friday, we have Nobody 2, which should be solid movies. I hope that both of them are good, but one of them might be garbage and one of them might flop, or both of them might flop. So we will see as time goes on. But until next time, stay swagged out, stay cool. Follow us everywhere. We're on Instagram and TikTok, even though I don't really post. I'm kind of lazy, but still, follow us. I'm still active here at least. But still, until next time, I'm Real Slogan. I'll see you boys in the movies.
Shine.